Good evening, everyone. I'll let a couple of people file in as we usually have a few people kind of coming in as we go live with these things. As you can see, my co-host has changed a little bit. It's not it's not hidden. It's AJ today. So welcome, AJ. How are you?
Good, Justin. Glad to be here, brother. Thank you for the invite. And yeah, man, I'm excited to go over some updates with our ecosystem, and we'll talk a little bit about the overall market. We are looking pretty good. I don't want to jinx it, but
Yeah,
yeah, I think we're finally in for the real bull run, man. So we're excited
I
for that.
hope so. We need a
Yeah,
little something for everybody
totally.
needs a little something nowadays, but a little hope would be nice. But yeah, it's been a long struggle with all the well, I mean, we're not going to get political here, but with everything that's going around the
For
world,
sure.
it's made it quite interesting for sure.
Absolutely. So yeah, we can let some people join and we'll jump right in. But yeah, I agree. I mean, I know I've been in the game now for God, 10 years, full-time crypto. And they say, history doesn't guarantee future results, but I think that we can definitely look to that. And, the 4-year cycle has just been, rock solid. And until that's broken, then we have to kind of rely on that. And
Yeah.
that doesn't even include all the bullish sentiment now. I mean, M2 money supply rocketing, all the, pro crypto legislation here in America, and even worldwide, like these companies now, thanks to Michael Saylor and are actually using crypto as treasury assets, and they're just accumulating. I mean, the goal for them is to never sell. It's to
Yeah.
continue to offer their stock to the normies and use that to buy crypto. So it's really bullish. I'm really excited for it, and I
Yeah.
think that we're going to see some fireworks by the end of the year for
Well,
sure.
it's a really interesting conundrum, I guess, as if you will, in the financial industry as a whole globally, because you've got countries that want to depeg themselves from the states and the arm hold that the states has on things in some ways, and crypto is that. The U.S. doesn't want to lose their footing. Crypto is that. So it's kind of the fix all for everyone, but unfortunately, we obviously want to see it progress in a way that's not controlled, and unfortunately it's going to take some control measures to in order to allow us to grow to the level that's more of a world economy type thing. So I agree, it's definitely lots of opportunities, and I'm excited. That's why I never left crypto. A lot of people in my field, I guess, of influence have left because of dry times, and I'm sure a lot of them will come back magically as the bull starts rearing its head. Um, I luckily, and when you say just a quick little thing, and I'll let you get into some stuff, but when you say history doesn't always repeat itself. One of our sayings in the trading industry that I'm kind of becoming very involved in is it doesn't always repeat itself, but it often rhymes. So there's definitely going to be some similarities to the repetitiveness to this bull run, and things in general in economics of scale as things grow. There's going to be some really interesting changes that will have to come into play, and as this stuff gets adopted more and more. So yeah, awesome.
Yeah,
I
agree
guess
100%. Yeah.
I don't know if there's really need for an introduction, but obviously, if you wanted to give a 2-second thing just on you and maybe your understanding of the crypto industry, however you want to go about that. You've been on a couple of times, and I appreciate you being one of the white hat people in this space, because we need more of them. So if you want to give a little bit of, in case somebody hasn't heard of you, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, absolutely, brother. So my name is AJ Brockman. I'm fully doxxed. Like I said earlier, I've been in the game, the crypto game, for like 10 plus years now, which is crazy when I say that out loud. But
Mhm.
just always, I started just like everybody else in the trenches, speculating on memes and losing my money to scammers. And, just kind of grew from there. And about 3 years ago, we started our own protocol called EMP Money. It started as a Tomb fork, and I know a lot of you probably are familiar with me from that, but we've grown a lot over the years and really transitioned away from those highly inflationary protocols. The sustainability just isn't there, no matter how many stop gaps that you put in place. And as long as you were with the protocol long enough, you're probably still ahead. I mean, we've been building the entire time, and even from the original EMP, we transitioned to a new fixed supply token. Everybody got credit for that. We never gave up. We never abandoned anybody. And even the timing of this AMA is pretty great because even the legacy contracts that we had, Detonator, Reactor, Sentinels, which were some of our NFTs, those were all financial games and heavily, inflationary. However, we just did a major migration for those as well. So even if you were in some of those, you now got credit into our new protocol called EMP Fusion. So
Nice.
again, not to we'll talk a little bit more about that later, but the whole point of this is that we're builders. I mean, even during the last bear market, when everything went down dramatically, rather than giving up and moving on, we always looked at ways to actually build real world products. The vaults have been huge. So we merged with DexFi about 2 years
Mhm.
ago now. And we'll talk a lot about that today. That is a real world product market fit for managing liquidity positions. And that revenue supports the ecosystem. And most recently, the last part was our Universe Madness game. So my original crypto success story was with a game called Splinterlands
Yes.
back in 2018. I turned $10,000 into about $1 million worth of assets. So I was always really intrigued with gaming, and I learned a lot from Splinterlands. And so we're building our own trading card game now called Honor versus Madness. And I know some of you probably were in the pre-sale. We've been building for about 8 months now, and we're hoping to have our playable alpha uh, of the game ready by the end of the year. So we've been really, really busy, and just continue to have our heads down and building along the way.
Awesome. The DexFi website, what is that website again? Because I wanted to pull it up, because we'll obviously
Yep,
go there as the main thing for today, but
absolutely. So again, I think it's just dexby.com. Man, isn't that horrible? I don't even know. I always have it tabbed, but let me see. I'll look it up. Hang on one
I should
sec.
have checked myself, but maybe it's just dexfi.com actually, but I was trying to find it. Yeah, it is dexfi.com. That's fine.
Okay,
Yeah, I got
yeah,
it. Yeah, so we can pull that up for a second because this is one of the ones that I'm interested in getting into because it is a little bit more of a simpler, more passive type environment. Um,
for
I
sure.
I used to play Magic the Gathering and other card games back in the day. I don't have as much disposable time, I guess, for that stuff, but I like the idea behind it, and I definitely will hopefully take some time to take a little closer look at that because you guys have been developing that for a while.
Yeah, absolutely, brother. So the conceptual phase has been almost 2 years now, but the actual development. So rather than us trying to be crypto devs designing a game, which is how 99% of people do it, we actually hired a company out of Thailand that has worked on Disney movies and Netflix series, and they built the game, and it's incredible. I mean, again, I don't want to take too much time on that, but if you look up our socials, it is really AAA quality for a trading card game, and it's very unique. To your point of Magic the Gathering, a lot of the even digital trading card games are done in a two-dimensional world. Even though
Yeah,
things are 3D, you're still playing on a board, so to speak. In our game, it is cards, but you're actually summoning them in a fully 3D environment. So
that's
it's
cool.
really cool. Yeah. So,
Nice.
but
Sorry, I
yeah,
was terrible at not looking at the chat, but anyways, lots of love towards you as always. A few people that
yeah,
I think I recognize that come from EMP land, and oops, sorry, not that one, but everybody lost money in some things if you didn't.
yeah, totally. If you've been with us long enough, then
Yeah,
you can, especially now that we did the migration, I
yeah.
would be really hard pressed to see anybody that lost unless they just left. So
Yeah, exactly. Like you do have to, no matter what with this stuff, you have to keep track of it. And nobody, the nice thing about it is you're not going to lose money in some of this stuff in the sense that you're not going to have it stolen like 90% of these other
totally.
projects that we have to deal with. So yeah, so thanks so much, Huss and everybody else. Huss is a regular on my channel, so I appreciate you being here soon as well. And a couple of people from your side, I think. AJ, good, cool dude,
Yep.
cool to see
Yeah,
him on.
Stinky Grover, we see a bunch of familiar faces.
Yeah, Grover
And
as
yeah,
well.
Huss too. He's been a lot more active in our community too. So shout
Nice.
out to you. Yeah.
And then Paul was actually the one I think that actually mentioned to have you on. So I appreciate Paul coming and hanging with us. And as always, guys, do hit that like button, subscribe button. I'm terrible at usually doing that. Quarter mile keeps me on my toes and makes sure I don't forget those housekeeping things when I'm on. But
Totally.
um, so yeah, so DexFi is the one I definitely want to spend most of our time on. Obviously, if there's other stuff, and if people have
Yeah,
questions, please
totally.
don't hesitate. But DexFi, so let me just get the screen the way it should be. Um, I'll let you, I guess, tell the story here and what's happened here and where we're at now. Um,
Absolutely.
and
Yeah.
definitely some neat opportunities here for both passive and active investors, I guess, really with this one.
Absolutely. So again, just to give kind of a full background, we merged with Dex Finance, like I said, about 2 years ago. And Dex CEO, his name is Jake. He's been a builder just like us.
Hmm.
And ironically enough, Dex Finance started as a tomb fork. So again, it's really crazy how everything comes full circle. And we always were in touch. We were colleagues bouncing ideas off of each other before we obviously merged. And what I loved about DexFi from day one is that there was really a focus on real yield and actual product market fit. And over those years, they developed this incredible uh, contract based platform that manages LPs. So I know, Justin, it's a big thing for you. I know you've been doing trading more lately, but LP providing is one of the most safest. Again, I use that word lightly, but one of the least risk ways to make money in crypto while having exposure to crypto overall. And so
Yeah.
this platform through our vaults, so yeah, if you go there, um, you can see that you can actually set up different LP pairs, and we have systems in place that will manage those positions for you automatically. So we have both non and both fixed ranges and what we call an AILM, which is an automated liquidity manager that's influenced by AI,
Mhm.
and it will actually change the ranges on your LP as well. So
Interesting.
that's what, yeah, really makes this platform special. A lot of you may be familiar with Beefy Finance or Crystal or some of these other or even Balancer, where they're utilizing liquidity, but we're kind of a combination of all of the above. And another really cool thing is we're actually able to take profit in a separate token so that you're always locking in your gains from LP providing, and you're not getting killed with impermanent loss because you're able to, again, set different compounding ranges that always puts a little bit more back into your LP
Mhm.
and protects that erosion from happening. So it's very complicated on the surface, but under the hood, that's how this is all working. And it's been an amazing way for us to provide, again, real product market fit and help the whole ecosystem. Because again, obviously we get part of the fees on the harvest that happen. So
Cool.
that supports the GDEX token and our EMP ecosystem as well.
Cool. And with this, somebody was just asking, Quarter Mile was just asking what chains, sorry. So
Yeah,
obviously I see our Arbitrum and Base and Sonic. Is that kind of where it mainly houses?
yeah, so we right now we're mainly on Base and Sonic.
Mhm.
We do have an Arbitrum bridge because originally GDEX was on Arbitrum. But we have plans to add I mean, we had about 8 different chains before. We had a minor exploit about 6 months ago,
Mhm.
and that allowed us to kind of regroup and really figure out where the TVL really is. And so that's Base and Sonic have been the most volume because when you're providing LP, it's really less about price appreciation and more about volume. So
Yeah,
we see a lot more volume on those chains. And yeah, we're adding more and more. We actually have a really exciting announcement in about a week of another chain that we're going to be adding. So we're always innovating and adding, and this is the infrastructure. And again, I know a lot of people get overwhelmed, so we actually have implemented an easy button, which we'll talk about later,
Sure.
with the bonds for sure. But
Yeah.
yeah, this is again a way that you can be diversified, because typically, even if you do know how to provide LP, it's very difficult to manage, more than 2 or 3 positions on your own, because you're
Yeah.
always
Yeah.
having to check the range. You have to make sure you're, watching the charts. With these, it's a lot more hands off. And even with the AILM, it looks at like incoming volume, different news events, and
Okay.
all that really helps determine the ranges without being too tight that you get killed with impermanent loss.
Very cool. Okay. Yeah, I'll take a peek at that a little closer.
Yeah.
Um, and Blackhawk, a regular on my show, he's just asking whether there's points or gems for LP is on Sonic. Is there any connection there for them?
Yeah, so we are in the process of getting whitelisted with the Sonic Foundation.
Cool.
But yeah, ultimately, when we do, we will be eligible for gems in the second round here. We were up and running for the first round, but it just didn't work out to where we got credit. So yeah, hopefully for season two, everybody will be eligible, and then any points that we get will be distributed to everybody else. So
Cool. And then like other decks, there's bonuses sometimes for different ones that maybe get voted on or whatever part of the DAO, I presume, or part of the like I see this one getting bonuses. I presume that's
yeah, so we do. We actually have two. It's funny that you mentioned that. We have two different things. So some of the dexes that we provide LP for, like that one in particular, on Aerodrome, we're getting Aero rewards on top.
okay.
But we also have the ability to actually boost vaults. So like if you're a project owner and you want to incentivize people to add liquidity to your own token,
Mhm.
again, granted, it has to be on base or Sonic, but we can actually inject rewards into those pools
Cool.
to incentivize people. So yeah, it's really extremely robust for sure.
Nice. And then like everything, you can organize them from whatever you want. What's this new little button?
Yeah, so those are all the AILMs, and again, it's AI inspired liquidity management. And if you click into one of those, Justin, we should be able to see the ranges. So yeah, if you go down, so there you go. So that's a pretty wide range. Go to the I go up right there, down the intervals. One it's right now it's at 1 hour. Sorry, I know it's hard to explain. Up
Yeah. Yeah.
a little bit. There's that blue button above, up, keep
Oh,
going. Yep, right there. One above that. Yep, right there. There's ranges. Yep. So go to all time. You were there.
oh, sorry.
Yeah,
Yes.
there you
Gotcha.
go.
I
Perfect.
got this.
There we go. All right, we're good, brother. So as you can see, those gray boxes is the range,
Hmm.
and the white is the price.
Yep.
So what happens is the AILM will actually rebalance the ranges depending on the volatility, and keep you earning without going out of range. So this is
Very cool.
really cool. And again, it's all automatic. So you don't have to sit there and watch the chart all day every day to then rebalance on your own. So
Am I mistaken? Because I've seen obviously rebalancing on some of them, but it looks like it almost does it less. Like it looks like it's being more strategic about it and less often.
yes, brother, you picked it up right away. So yeah, so what happens is what you don't want to do is rebalance, every week, because
Yeah.
then you get killed with impermanent loss. So yes, it will actually determine based on again all the on-chain data with volume and interest and amount of holders. I mean, it takes into consideration a lot of different metrics. And yeah, their goal is to keep it in a tight range, but not rebalance too often, and as you can see, it's only rebalanced, 4 times. So
Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
No, that's pretty
it yeah,
sweet.
it keeps it
Okay,
very
cool. Because a
profitable.
lot of them, yeah, you'll set ranges and stuff, and if you set them too tight or whatever, sometimes you're rebalancing a couple times a day if it's volatile or whatever,
For
and you're
sure.
just I feel like you're bleeding more money than you're making by accident. Um,
Yep,
so
and that is you hit the nail on the head. I mean, a lot of people that try to get into LP providing, they've heard of it, they want to experiment, but they get greedy and they set their ranges too tight, and in the long run, you actually lose money
the
because of that impermanent loss. So yeah, we're utilizing the AILM to help people navigate that a little bit better for sure.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Cornwell says, "Is impermanent loss the only risk, and how can you avoid impermanent loss?" Obviously, I can answer that within reason.
for
Any
sure.
token, there's values depending on the risk and whether you're going with some. Because I'm assuming you guys have a mix of, and especially when you say you can create your own pairs, there's obviously lots of added risk outside of impermanent loss you can have there if the values, or if you make a pairing that's not very versatile or doesn't get traded at all, you have to be still cautious with some other things.
Yeah, absolutely, brother. So, yeah, I mean, obviously, permanent loss is always a thing. We do everything we can to mitigate that, and
Mhm.
we do it very well. But obviously, if it's more of a meme or a shit token, or maybe again, we're kind of the middleman too, where we're managing LPs.
Yeah.
Obviously, you have self custody where it's attached to your wallet, but there is tax risk as well. So like
Yeah.
if you were providing LP on a DEX and the DEX got hacked, even though it has nothing to do with us, that is a potential risk as well. But
Absolutely.
one of my tips, and again, I like to focus on liquidity. So, like, as long as a token has more than 100 grand of liquidity, yep, and you can sort all right there. That's usually a good indicator that even if it is kind of a micro cap, that it's healthy enough to actually provide LP.
And
Yeah.
still some pretty reasonable APIs even for some of the more blue chip ones like BTC ETH.
Yeah, brother, isn't that amazing? So
Yeah.
again, being on base, the APR and APY has been really healthy on blue chips, and that's just because there is so much volume now on Aerodrome, and yeah, it's
Mhm.
again, it's spectacular, and you can absolutely get very healthy uh, returns without taking additional risk
Nice.
on like lower cap. I mean, again, it's all relative because some of the lower cap tokens, I mean, they're earning over 1% a day,
Yeah.
which again, you say that and people think it's a Ponzi, but it really is real yield from the volume. So
Yeah, yeah, wild. Yeah, so, like, organizing it by daily, you gotta be careful with that kinda stuff, but, I mean, obviously,
totally.
you can if you're getting in and out and taking them over short terms, you can do quite well with some of those guys, especially something that's paying 6% daily, but you can also lose it as quick as you gain it, so
Yeah,
I'd say that's
exactly.
not
Yeah.
even anyways,
So
but
take it with a grain of salt, and that
yeah.
kind of plays into the bonds again, which we'll talk about later. A good strategy is just being diversified. So like, maybe you have 80% of your portfolio in a blue chip, but then you do speculate on that 1%, 2% a day, and then overall it brings your APR up, but you're not at risk of
Blowing your
getting
whole
getting killed. Yeah,
yeah.
totally.
Yep, leverage it looks like Grover's and I appreciate Grover, it looks like you're answering some of the questions and,
Yeah, so
leverage
Grover's here.
LPs, no, there is
Yeah,
no
yep. So Grover's here. Was part of the original DexFi team, and now very very helpful and an extension of the team at EMP. So he can answer as well. But yeah, no leverage LP yet. We are working on some other cool ideas in terms of insurance. We had a great meeting with one of the leading insurance providers on insuring your vaults. So yeah, we have some cool stuff in the pipeline.
nice. Where did you wanna go to next? Obviously, Grover just mentioned something
Yeah.
about ETFs, which is kind of neat. I'm assuming that's, kinda taking some of these and grouping them
Yeah,
together to create a
totally.
portfolio?
So yeah, so again, if you were to able to create your own vault, again, that's another really cool feature. Actually, why don't we go back and start there, and I'll show you. So yeah, go to vaults, and then on the upper right hand
Right on.
side, create a vault. Yep. So you can create your own vault as well, and we have a form on the homepage that if you don't see a token that you like, you can submit. But
Okay.
just pick that first one real quick. Just and yep. And so when you pick a vault, you can choose up to 8 different LPs in a single vault, which again, that's where we kind of resemble Balancer because as those LPs create profit, you're also getting rewarded to whatever LP is down the most. So it's a way that the vault itself actually
Huh.
buys the bottoms of every dip. So that's another amazing feature that isn't available in Beefy or any other competitor. And so, yeah, once you pick your assets, you can actually set all the allocations.
Yeah.
Again, it's really, really robust.
That's cool. So that's
Yeah,
almost like I don't know if you guys in the States have M1 Finance, I believe it is, which is like a company where you can build your own portfolio of stocks and whatever,
totally,
and it'll
totally.
auto balance them and that so this is kinda doing that, which is neat.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely very similar to that. And once you have everything set up, as long as it reaches 100 allocation total, there you go. You can actually slide the amount of profit as well. So, like I said earlier, we always like to recommend at least 25%
Mhm.
to be compounded because that will allow you to help eliminate impermanent loss. So,
Absolutely, yeah.
as long as you have some more capital coming in, and like I said, whatever LP is down the most, that is where the profit goes. So it's a really cool way to DCA into the assets as well. And then, yeah, that little change profit button at the very top right there. So this is all the ETFs. So we're able to create a profit taking strategy in blue chips. And again, in an ETF that has
Hmm.
multiple blue chips. So you could have ETH, you could have BTC, you have ETH and BTC,
Yeah, yeah.
and what that does is it allows you to automatically take profit in a different token, which is unheard of because usually when you're providing LP, you're getting more of those two tokens that you're exposed to.
Yeah.
Again, because of the fees. But if for whatever reason that token goes down, now you're down overall. But if
Yeah.
they're taking profit immediately on fees, then it locks in the gains. So it's really really cool. And then yeah, once in the ETF, you can leave it there as a savings account, or again, if you go to the ETF page, you can do what's called burning your ETF, and that will just give you the profit in whatever you choose. So
Cool. That's very neat. So that gives you a lot of flexibility depending on how involved you wanna be on it, I guess, really.
exactly, yeah, and I
Maybe more
know
than I've seen in others, so
it totally it's very overwhelming, on first glance, but when you really dive in and spend some time with it, this is like best in class. Like not even the big guys have as much customization that we do for
well,
sure.
and not only that, even just the management of it becomes far simpler when you can do things like create a vault, create your own diversified portfolio, and even managing it becomes 10 times easier. And again, you can and the neat thing I like about what you said is I can go ahead and just kind of say, you know what, I want to keep building my BTC bag right now because I think it's going to keep pumping or whatever, or
Exactly.
more importantly, probably ETH because I think it's still got some catching up to do. Um, and you can kind of organize it that way and still let your tokens that you have or the buckets you choose just to grow with them within themselves as well.
Yeah,
So
totally. Because yeah, you're right. You get full exposure to the assets going up as well. Obviously, it's a little bit of a trade-off because with the ranges, you're not getting the same price appreciation that you would if you just held it,
yeah,
but you're getting the yield. So it's you do have to choose. Would you rather just buy and hold, which is a fine strategy,
yeah,
or would you rather put your money to work and earn yield to build your bag even bigger. So yeah, it's just
yeah.
a great way to kind of have a well-rounded portfolio for sure.
Yeah, no, that's perfect. Cool, very good. And then ETFs just simplifies it even more, I guess, and you're just kind of
Yeah, so
just
again, like Rover just said, yeah, the ETFs, and you can, yeah, so basically, again, back to that whole balancer comparison, if in this example, the ratio is 70/30, you're always building a well-rounded exposure because even if ETH goes down, you still have 30% in USDC,
yeah,
which again, And as you leave it in the ETF, that will also rebalance. So again, it always keeps that 30, 70, 30 split. So if ETH goes up, you're automatically locking in profit uh, into USDC, and vice versa. If ETH goes down, now you're buying the dip on ETH as well. So over the
Yeah,
long run, ETFs outperform than just holding separately. So,
nice. Bonus. All right, where do you wanna lead us next?
all right, so this is a great segue into bonds.
Okay.
So, if all of what I just said was a little overwhelming, and you just want the easy button, again, we say it right at the top, easy button of yield farming. Um, we have launched these treasury bonds. So we use the same infrastructure that I just went over, but it's a done for you product. So
Mm.
we're still using smart contracts. We're still using, um, all that I just explained under the hood. But now we're able to determine, what pools and farms are paying the best, how to diversify over many different assets, expert, timing on our entries. And so what you do is on base. This is all on base because that's where the majority of our volume is anyway. But you just have ETH on base. You can mint a bond. So right now they're about 200 and yep, $50 per bond. You mint that, and then you're getting a 72% APR in USDC. So as soon as you mint the bond, you start getting USDC right there in your wallet literally every second or block if you have enough bonds.
Mhm.
But yeah, it adds up all day, every day. And what is really cool, Justin, that nobody does, if you click on that $2 million link, yep, right there.
I
And
see the
again,
whole breakdown.
yes, brother. So, we're all about transparency, and no other protocol does this. So you can literally see every single LP position that we're in, and see where all the money is, all on chain, all accounted for, no black box.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, and because they're private vaults, again, this is another really cool part of our technology. We're able to show the LPs but we don't show the ranges. So you can't copy trade the LPs because you don't know our exact formula
Yeah.
overall. So it's really cool, and I'm so proud of this because nobody is as transparent as we are for
Nice,
sure.
and I know Cornmeal does say he likes the easy buttons. He also likes transparency, so I'm sure he's happy to see this kind of setup, for you guys.
Awesome. Yeah, he says awesome work. Thank you, brother. Yeah, totally. So, and as you can see, Justin, there's about 40 different vaults. So this is what I was saying earlier. Obviously we're managing the entries, but like it would be impossible, physically impossible to manage all this on our own
Mhm.
individually. So this is the power of the vaults. And it allows you to diversify incredibly well. So we
Well,
don't have more than 100 grand in one vault, so
and even more so than that, even the fact that you have these kind of funds, these funds may not be here if you didn't have this solution, but this feeds
for
your
sure.
LPs and gives you guys a healthier, book to work with
Yeah,
than
totally.
a project that doesn't have something like this,
Yep,
which is
so
pretty
all
cool
that
too.
totally, brother, all that TDL goes right into the vaults, and again, if you go back to the top really quick,
Mhm.
if you go to vaults, again, the vaults page, you can see we have 4.5
Yeah,
million in overall TVL, so, yeah, to your point, that is a self-feeding system where, all that TVL helps as well,
okay.
to the overall platform. Yep,
That's awesome, and I like easy buttons too. Although now that I've seen this a little bit closer, and this is why I appreciate these kind of environments because I don't take the time to dig deep into this. But
for
your
sure.
explanation is stellar, and I appreciate it. And actually might cause me to be a little bit more in depth in creating a vault. Actually, maybe something I'm going to take a peek at. But originally, and I might still do that as well. Is this is where I'm thinking of kind of putting some because again, I take my risk more on the trading side of things, and that's where I can create income for myself that is sustainable for me, especially now that I've gotten the knowledge I've gotten over 3 years of doing it.
Totally.
Um, but as I'm taking that money out, I want to put it somewhere safer. And this is kind of one facet, which is because of how diversified it is, because we're not looking at I mean, it's still a reasonable APR, and this is variable too. Sorry, just as I thought, this does
Yeah,
change.
totally. It
Yeah, okay.
does. So yeah, it's a great point. We keep it. Well, again, we don't. It's variable, so we don't do anything. But the goal is to keep it around 75 to 100,
Mhm.
and we've been in that range from day one. So yeah,
Nice.
I mean, obviously, it depends on volume, and so we actually started seeing the APR go up over the last few days.
Mhm.
And the other issue is when people deposit new capital because we have to be able to deploy that capital to work, it does fluctuate the APR. But as the fund grows, that becomes a lot less of an issue as well. So you may see, the APR go down a couple of points in a day, but remember APR is an average
Yeah.
over the year. So yeah,
Cool. And although Grover's doing a great job, I still got to bring the questions up so people watching the recording can still see them. Is there a cap for total bonds minted? And Grover let us know that there's no cap.
yeah,
Again, because of how large you guys are and the fact that you're diversified in all these different vaults, I don't really see any reason because just like Pancake Swap or any of your competitors, you guys, it's all about the volume. So the
yeah,
bigger the better,
totally.
really, for the
Yeah.
sustainability, for the longevity, for the APRs, for all of that stuff.
Yeah,
Uh,
great point. And because, again, I think people get worried about dilution because they're more used to farming LP on like, an inflationary type
mm,
system where you're rewarded in a token that you have to sell. And, obviously, we've seen those where APR is very high and then it goes lower and lower and lower. And then now you're out. So
yeah.
this is not that. This is V3 liquidity and yeah, to your point, Justin, I mean, we could handle tens of millions of dollars before APR would slip. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Nice. Awesome. And there was something else I wanted to say, and then I got interrupted myself. Oh yes, sorry. Getting in and out of these also is fairly simple from what I think I saw. There's I think a 10% fee if you were to sell your bond.
yeah. So, and this is a great way of explaining it. So, even while we're on stream, you can see the fund value now is 1.989 million. So again, everything here is variable, which is also really part of the strong point. We're no Pontonomics. We're not guaranteeing a return. This is all full transparent yield. And to that point, though, that also fluctuates slightly the mint price.
Mhm.
So again, everything is determined in ETH. And that first number, that 0.068, I'm sorry, it's pretty small. Is
684.
that right? Yeah, 684, perfect. So that number is determined based on how the overall fund is doing against ETH. So
Okay.
that number could actually go up um, as the alts that we're exposed to goes up in the fund.
Oh, very
So
cool. Yeah.
again, that then now, not only are you up in ETH value, but you're obviously up in dollar value as well, and vice versa. It can go down. We started minting zero point 0.1, but that the average has been about 0.7. So
Gotcha.
you're still pretty close to that range, and so yeah. But the other question about redeeming. So yeah, there are zero lockups. You can get in and out at any time, but there
Yeah.
is a 10% redemption fee, and that doesn't go to us as a team. It goes to all. It goes straight to the fund, which therefore is all the other holders. And the only reason that we do that is because um, we don't want people to swing trade the account itself. Because
Yeah.
if we're having to pay out as we go, that capital isn't working, and ultimately it brings the APR down. So I wouldn't get in bonds unless you want to be here for at least a month. But the yield will outperform that fee for sure. So
Yeah, exactly. And even on top of that, if this happens to increase by $25, well, there's your 10% right there as
exactly.
well. So,
Yep, totally. And being at the bottom of the incoming bull run, I mean, again, I know some of the day one minters. and even the first week minters are up about 20% in dollar value, and they've earned, about at least 20% in yield. So
Nice.
again, pretty amazing. Yeah,
Yep. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, this is kind of where I was, like I said, like thinking, but I may take a little closer look into this now with some money. I definitely would prefer just to kind of set it and forget it, which is what this offers, which is pretty neat.
for sure.
Um, Anywhere else you wanted to kind of touch on inside DexFi while we're on it?
Yeah, no, I mean, that's really a high level overview, and this is the backbone of what we're doing, that really supports everything else in the ecosystem. If you go to GDEX, maybe we'll finish on that at the top.
Sure.
Um, again, this is the token of DexFi,
Okay.
and part of the yield that we get goes to paying stakers of GDEX. And if you think what we're doing is cool, you get exposure to the overall platform through GDEX. And moving forward, we've had talks of turning GDEX again into a true governance token with DAO voting on what pools to get in and out of for bonds. We have a lot of cool ideas to further decentralize all this for sure.
Cool. And neat that you didn't go that route right off the bat, I think, because and correct me if I'm wrong, I'm a little bit ignorant to these guys, but I
Yeah,
find a lot of the DEXs, failed in some ways probably because of their governance token, because it brought them into land where they weren't ready for, because they didn't have the liquidity probably to back the stuff they were being
for
almost forced
sure.
to because of the governance, I presume, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. And again, GDEX is a fixed supply. It's not a reward token.
Yeah.
All these other DEXs are giving their token out as a reward for people. I mean, Arrow and Aerodrome, they do it different because they're actually buying the token.
Right.
So it actually helps the price. But yeah, it's simply a governance token, and you get part of the yield through that APR that we get from the vault fees.
Okay,
So,
cool. Nice.
yeah, yeah,
And I see a bridge.
awesome.
Is this a
Yeah.
your
Yep, so
traditional
if you had GDEX on this is just for GDEX only, if
Oh,
you had
gotcha.
it on Arbitrum, that was the old token, you could bridge it over,
Oh, okay.
and yeah, to get more, there's more liquidity on Base now,
Gotcha.
so,
Okay, so nothing to
yeah.
worry about there. Okay, awesome.
Yep, and then the
Uh,
DAO page too, if you just touch on that really quick at the top, there's some great metrics, that you can see. I mean, those are, lifetime revenues, treasury holdings, TVLs. There's a bunch of really cool
yeah, yeah,
metrics of the
good
overall
data.
platform.
Always cool to see that stuff. Again,
Yeah.
transparency, all that.
Yeah, absolutely, brother. So yeah, it's a great high level overview again. We're not here to sell a token. We're not here to shill. This is real yield. And bonds are just a great way to do it without a lot of management. But yeah, I would love everybody to at least experiment with vaults on their own, because if you can learn how to successfully provide LP through our system, the sky is the limit. I mean, again, you can really do some incredible things.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I appreciate the breakdown. Because like I said, like I said, I'm pretty sure it was Paul that mentioned it. But whenever anybody mentions something, when I'm talking about something somewhat uneducatedly, it's always handy to have the get it from the horse's mouth and have them on the channel, because then I can get educated, and then hopefully in turn it helps someone else get better informed as to what they can do with it, which is pretty
Totally.
cool. So, anybody
Yeah.
have any questions who's out there? We do have a decent audience, so if anybody has any questions, now's the time. Was there anything else you wanted to get into while you have the floor, sir?
Yeah, no, I appreciate the time, Justin. I want to be respectful. We're coming up on an hour. I did just want to mention EMP one more time as
Sure.
well. If you go to Deck Screener, this is the best form of advertising right here. So Deck Screener and then EMP on BSC. I wanted to show everybody uh, a recent recovery. So
Cool.
things are looking really good. So again, like I mentioned earlier, we have now transitioned away from um, the inflationary mechanisms of EMP. We now have EMP fusion, which is very similar to bonds in the way that we use real yield to support the payouts of fusion. And so yeah, there you go. That's pretty spectacular. Last few weeks have been amazing. And so
Good.
yeah, we are going to be the first protocol to recover PEG after being a Tomb Fork. So we're about a little more than halfway there.
Nice.
And so, we have a whole new system now, and we're excited for the future of
That's awesome.
what it is. So if you were in Detonator or any of the legacy contracts, check out emp.fusion. You'll get credit, a partial credit, and then you can start playing within your ecosystem. That APR is really low right now. Again, as we recover peg, a lot of that economic energy from us as a team is going to peg recovery. But once we get there, which is 4,000 to 1, so it would make EMP about $1 at peg, roughly around there. Then that's when APR should ramp up. So yeah,
Nice.
I just want to highlight this because
No, that's a big
yeah,
peak.
we haven't given up, brother. So
Yeah,
yeah,
unlike every other Tomb Fork and other crypto project out there.
totally, totally,
Yeah.
yeah. So
No,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
awesome.
But yeah, any other questions? I'm happy to answer. And then, all of our other projects too. We have decks on Pulse Chain. Pulse Chain has been a nightmare, but I think we're finally seeing it turn around. So anybody that was involved in that will also be migrated into our multi-chain decks.
Nice.
So that's the roadmap. After Universe Madness, um, early next year, we'll be doing a full multi-chain decks called Deck Swap, and that will piggyback really well into the vaults. So, some of the vaults will be on our own decks, which again helps volume and fees and everything else. So,
Very cool. And it's pardon my ignorance. Are you still part of L1 deck or
yeah, so L1X was pretty much a failed project. The founder really did us dirty. We were supposed to build a multi-chain dex with them, and after some unkept promises, put it that way,
oh, sorry to
we're just
open
gonna
that
build.
wound?
Yeah, no, we're gonna build our own. So yeah,
Okay.
anybody that was involved in that, they just we're doing our own thing now for
Okay.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, no worries. Sorry.
No, no
I should
worries.
ask that
Hey, I
before.
love that. I'm like, this is man, we're the most transparent team in
True
DeFi.
that,
So
true
yeah, anybody
and
wanna
I
ask me
appreciate that.
anything, there's never something I won't answer. So
No, I
yeah.
appreciate it, and
Yeah.
that's why it's so great to have you on. Awesome. Well, if that's all, I'm not seeing any more questions coming in. Appreciate everybody for hanging out with us, and we had a good little crew here. So,
Yeah.
as I said to you, I think privately, I'm probably going to put something in L1 into the decks. So I'm going to take a
Yep.
look at
The bonds.
what allocation I have, and I'll probably do a follow up video on this just as a regular recorded video where I'll put some funds and maybe I'll try some of the other stuff as opposed to just the bonds, which is what I was expecting to do. But maybe I'll play around and try and do my own little ETF of
Yeah, I would
sorts or
love
something.
totally, brother. I would love for you to explore the vaults themselves. Again, they're super flexible.
Mhm.
And yeah, anybody that needs help, our support team
As
is really
always.
great. We're more on Discord than Telegram, but you can always open a ticket on Discord, and we can help with different ranges or answering any questions if you're going to do it manually. So
Nice. Yeah, and if anybody wants just who's already in my Discord, just let me know. I'll get you the link for the Dex Phi one,
yep,
and then
excellent.
I'm
Perfect.
assuming yeah EMP. I've got them. I got links to all of them anyways, guys, because I'm in the Discords there, not as frequently as I'd like. But thank you, Quarter Mile, for joining us. And yeah, if anything else, guys, please let me know. If there's other guests you guys want to have on like this, I'm always happy to invite anybody on the channel. I don't really charge for these anymore. I'm just here to help bring the good people to the people that want to try and find some passive income, because that's really what I mean. We've all seeked that, and unfortunately it's been a very hard thing to find, but I really liked how the bonds can kind of help do that, and the rewards are pretty darn reasonable for something that's totally passive, which is pretty awesome. So that's one reason why I wanted to have you on and find other options like that. So I appreciate everything you do, AJ.
Thank you, Justin. Yeah, bro, it's always a pleasure. And you've been a pillar in this space as well. I know both of us have been, through hell and back. But we don't give up, man. And we may have a little less money than we started with, but we're picking the right projects now, and we're building it. I mean, again, we use our own products. I mean, the EMP Treasury again, the DexFi Treasury, we
Mhm.
are utilizing bonds and vaults for our own income so that we don't have to ever sell our assets, we pay for development, we pay for marketing, we pay for everything from the yield. So, and it's been working. That was one last thing. Before we wrap it up, everybody says, "What about a bear market?" So, yeah, I mean, we have been earning yield through the last brutal bear market
Yeah.
always. So even if prices are down, volume is always there. So I do think bonds, are something that are going to be bear and bull
Mhm.
relevant. So for sure,
Well, and the good thing too, again, is as there's adoption, as things grow, the bears will not be as bearish as as barren as they have been in DeFi. That will change over time. So, and that's something. I mean, volume wise, I'm sure there's been way more volume this bear market than there was a bear market ago or two bear markets ago, and that
totally.
will help sustain those slower times for sure. So,
Yep, no doubt. And again, we also have options. We can move into more stable pools as well. And
mhm.
even though APR might go down, it's still earning every single day with true passive income. So
Okay.
yeah, all of that is part of the plan as we move forward. So
Yeah.
thank you again, brother, for the invite tonight for sure.
Awesome. Thank you so much.